So just going through the review. Question number 1, classify ABC with these coordinates by its side showing work in the space below. So for triangle ABC, you're going to find distance to each side. I'm actually going to change the color. So the distance from A to B is going to be the square root of, and I subtract my x's, so it's going to be 1 minus 1 squared plus 4 minus negative 1 squared. Distance from A to B is equal to 0 squared plus 5 squared. That's going to be the distance from A to B is equal to the square root of 25. Square root of 25, you simplify, is going to be 5. We go to the next one. We want to know the distance from, let's say, B to C. Do the same thing. 1 minus negative 4 squared plus negative 1 minus 4 squared. Distance from B to C is going to be, that's going to be 5 squared plus negative 5 squared. Distance from B to C, 25 plus 25. Distance from B to C is the square root of 50. Distance from B to C is going to be, well, 50, I'll break this down if I want to simplify it. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I know I'm going to have a 5 on the outside, square root of 2 still on the inside. And that's just simplification. And then my last side is from A to C, which is going to be 1 minus negative 4 squared plus 4 minus 4 squared. 1 minus negative 4, that's going to be 5 squared plus 0 squared. 5 squared is 25. So this is going to be 5. I have there and there. So I have two sides that are the same. So this is going to be isosceles. Okay, I'll give you the idea. This is going to be isosceles. Okay, number 2. This is find the measure of each side of an equilateral triangle. I'm a visual person. I'm just going to go RST. What do we know about equilateral triangles? All of the sides are the same. RS is 2x plus 2. ST is 3x. And TR is 5x minus 4. And so since you know all the sides are the same, you just set up an equation and solve. So I'm going to just say 2x plus 2 is equal to 3x, because any pair of sides is going to be the same for an equilateral triangle. Subtract 2x, x is equal to 2. Once we know that, well, 5 times 2 minus 4, that's going to be 10 minus 4 is 6. 3 times 2, which is going to be 6, and 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 is also going to be 6. So RS is 6, ST is 6, and RT is going to be 6. For the next one, it's an isosceles triangle. The first thing I do is I draw an isosceles triangle. It is A, B, C. The next thing it says is vertex is B. Okay, if the vertex is B, well, the vertex angle in an isosceles triangle is created by the two congruent sides. So I know with that AB must be congruent to BC, that they're the same measure. So distance from A to B is 4y. Distance from B to C is 3y plus 2, and AC is 3y. Okay, knowing that, I know this side and this side are the same, so because it's an isosceles triangle and that's the vertex angle, 3y plus 2. Okay, and we have y is equal to 2. Now it says find the measures of each of the sides. So this first one is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6. This is going to be 4 times 2, which is 8. And if I did this right, this is going to be 3 times 2 plus 2, which is also going to be 8. Okay, so AB, distance from A to B was 8. The distance from B to C was 8. And the distance from A to C was 6. Okay, number 4. So how many acute angles can an obtuse triangle have? I would draw that out, but the answer is 2. One obtuse angle, but it can only have one obtuse angle. So how many right angles can an obtuse triangle have? Well, if it's an obtuse triangle, it's not going to have any. So the answer to that one is going to be 0. How many obtuse angles can an obtuse triangle have? Well, an obtuse triangle, or any triangle, can only have one obtuse angle. Otherwise, it would add to, there are 3 angles in a triangle. Otherwise, it would add to more than 180. And you guys should know that the angles in a triangle can only add to be 180 degrees. How many acute angles can an acute triangle have? Well, if it's an acute triangle, all of the angles are acute, so that's going to be 3. How many right angles? Well, if it had a right angle, it would be a right triangle, so that's going to be 0. How many obtuse angles? Well, it's an acute triangle, so acute triangles cannot have any obtuse angles. How many acute angles can a right triangle have? Can an acute right? This should just be a right triangle. I'll fix that in post. So can a right triangle have? Right triangle, it has one right angle. The other angles have to be acute, so it's going to be 2. Right angles can a right triangle have? That's also going to be, that's going to be 1 right angle. Obtuse angles can a right triangle have? If it had an obtuse angle, it would be an obtuse triangle. It's actually 0, because a right triangle couldn't have an obtuse angle and a right angle, because that would add to more than 180 degrees. Okay, our next one here, it says we have a triangle. Okay, so first thing I do is I draw it. You guys have to get better at drawing, not like actually artistically, but drawing when you know things. It says the measure of angle R is 3n plus 20. So that's the measure of the angle. Measure of angle Q is 2n plus 37. And the measure of angle P is 4n plus 15. Okay, and what do I know? I know that the 3 angles in a triangle add to be 180. So 2n plus 37 plus 4n plus 15 plus 3n plus 20 is equal to 180. Because it says it wants me to order the sides from shortest to longest. Okay, but I need to find the angles first to figure out the sides. So I combine my like terms. One of the things that you guys, some of you aren't doing right. Oh, that's an interesting. Some of the things that you guys aren't doing right are combining your like terms. If it's on one side, you just add it. So it's going to be 2n plus 4n plus 3n. So that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9n. You just add on one side. Then we have our 37 plus 15 plus 20, which is 72 is equal to 180. Okay, 9n is equal to 108 and 12. All right. Once I know n was 12, then I can substitute it in for each of these. So that's going to be 2 times 12 plus 37. Okay, so this is 2 times 12 plus 37, which is, so this angle would be 61 degrees. This is going to be 3 times 12 plus 20, which is 56 degrees. And this is 4 times 12 plus 15, which is 63 degrees. And if you add all of those together, you will get 180. So it says order the sides from shortest to longest. Well, the shortest side is opposite the smallest angle, and my smallest angle is 56. So it goes your 56-degree angle, which is opposite angle R. You have your 61-degree angle, which is opposite angle Q. And your third angle is your 63-degree angle, which is opposite, or which is a part of angle P. I said opposite, a part of. Okay. What side is opposite my 56-degree angle? Well, if R is here, it's going to be PQ. Then the side opposite my 61-degree angle is going to be PR. And the side opposite my 63-degree angle is QR. So PQ, then PR, then QR. And that's from shortest to longest. All right, number 14. Okay, this is a fun one. It says use the triangle inequality theorem to find the range of all possible values. So you have three possibilities. So triangle inequality theorem says the third side of a triangle has to be less than the sum of the other two sides. So I know for sure that x plus 3 has to be less than the 2x plus 1 side plus the 3x side. I also know that the 3x side has to be less than the sum of the x plus 3 side and the 2x plus 1 side. And the last thing I know for sure is that the 2x plus 1 side has to be less than the x plus 3 plus the 3x side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve all of these. I'm going to talk about your answer. So this is x plus 3. I add these. That's going to be 5x plus 1. I'm going to subtract x from each side. So this is going to be 3 is less than 4x plus 1. Subtract 1. 2 is less than 4x. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X is greater than 1/2. And I'm actually going to rewrite this because I think that, like mentally, I think that putting the x first is a little bit better. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. So I combine my like terms. I have my 3x. This is going to be 3x plus 4. I subtract 3x. I subtract 3x. 0 is less than 4. This is always true. So actually, we're not actually going to use this because it's always a true statement. So this will be true no matter what the sides are. So we just, no matter what x is. So I'm just actually going to skip that one. All right. And then the last one, I have my 2x plus 1 is less than, I have 4x plus 3. Okay. I subtract 2x from each side. 1 is less than 2x plus 3. Subtract 3. Negative 2 is less than 2x. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X also has to be greater than negative 1. Okay, so I put these two possibilities together. So I have two things. I'm going to make a little number line here. Here's my number line, just because I think it's better to illustrate it. So I have two possibilities. I have my 1/2, and I have my negative 1. I know that whatever x is for this triangle, I know it has to be greater than 1/2. The other thing I know is it also has to be greater than negative 1. Well, where do you see both arrows? Where is both of this true? What can x be? Well, x has to be both greater than negative 1 and greater than 1/2. So it's actually from here on out. So it has to be greater than 1/2 from 1/2 all the way up. And so my answer is just simply x has to be greater than 1/2. Because when I solved all of my inequalities, both things are true, but we actually don't need this x is greater than negative 1. Because if it was just greater than negative 1, well then 0 would work. But 0 is not a possibility because it has to both be greater than negative 1 and greater than 1/2. Well, 0 is greater than negative 1, but it's not greater than 1/2. So you're only going to be picking the answers that are greater than 1/2. Number 15, Can it be the measures of a triangle? Explain your reasoning. For this one, this is actually kind of a neat one. You can actually do an audio if you wanted to. You can put an image in, all of that stuff, or you can just write if you want. You can type in. So I can't quite see from this window. 9, 12, 18. So you have 9, 12, and 18. You know that, let's say, one side of a triangle has to be greater than the difference, always biggest minus smallest, and less than the sum of the other two sides. 12 minus 9 is 3, and 9 plus 12 is 21. Is my third side between 3 and 21? Absolutely. So yes, it can be a triangle because it's greater than this, or greater than the difference and less than the sum of the other two sides. And it doesn't matter which one you picked. If I had done 12, well, 12 would have had been less than 18 plus 9 and greater than 18 minus 9. And so 12 would be between, 12 is between 9 and 27. And you could also do the same thing with 9. So it doesn't matter which side you picked. Okay. Next thing can be the lengths of the sides. Write yes or no and explain your reasoning. First thing I do is show my work. This is 14, 14, 19. So 14, 14, 19. 19 has to be less than 14 plus 14 and greater than 14 minus 14. So is 19 between 0 and 28? Yes. Okay, so 19 is greater than the difference and less than the sum of the other two sides. 18. Determine whether, okay, so for this one's 23, 26, 50. So 23, 26, 50. So 50 has to be greater than the difference, so 26 minus 23, which is 3, so that does work out, and less than the sum, which is 23 plus 26, which is 49. It is not, no, because it is not less than the sum of the other two sides. Okay, two sides of a triangle have lengths 8 and 11. What are possible lengths of the third side? So you know the third side has to be greater than the difference and less than the sum. So it's going to be greater than 11 minus 8, always bigger minus smaller, and 11 plus 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. 11 plus 8 is 19. Is x between 11 or 3 and 19, or x is... There we go. This is your answer. Your third side has to be between 3 and 19, and please write it that way. Okay. For this one, Shores of a River Surveyors, ACB is 70 degrees. ABC is 65. You want to find this angle here, which is going to be 180 minus 65 minus 70. Okay. Which is 45. Okay, list the distance between these locations from order from least to greatest. Well, my smallest angle is 45, then my next is 65, my last one is 70 degrees. So I ordered the sides, the opposite sides from this, because the side opposite the smallest angle is going to be the smallest side. So BC is the opposite side of 45, AC is the opposite side of 65, and AB is the side opposite 70. Hector and Grace. So Hector and Grace each label QRS. Whose sketch is correct? Well, if we look at this right here, 60 is opposite 12.4, 50 is opposite 14. Now the problem is that the larger angle should have a larger opposite side. So in this case, Grace is going to be correct because her 60-degree angle is opposite the larger side. Okay, and last but not least, 22. Okay, and I should have done it. I'll do a show your work for this one, but we can look at this. So it says order the angles from least to greatest. The greatest side is the 5,385, so the largest angle has to be angle A. Then the medium side, we'll call it, is going to be AB, which is here. So the second largest angle has to be angle C. And the smallest side is AC here, which is opposite angle B, which is opposite angle B. So it's going to be angle A, then angle C, then angle B. So angle A, angle C, and angle B. So angle A, then, oh, you guys have the idea. Angle A, then angle C, then angle B. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck on the test. Come in with questions.